Hello, good evening everybody, welcome along to the JACKOCAR Cup Series. It's Season 4, it's round 2, it is the French Grand Prix. I'm your commentator Owen White, with me is Jacko, and all our problems last week are sorted. We can have a trouble-free stream today.
We hope. If they can't hear me by now, then we're going to have to go for it all over again, aren't we?
Well, I think we've got it all sorted. The PS5 is a bit complicated when it comes to the amount of settings that you have to change, but eventually it's all sorted, and so yes, we're here, we're in France, we're ready to go. We've got a full grid of 20 drivers, and yeah, hopefully we have a nice, clean, tidy race. What am I talking about? 8 finishers last week, Jacko. Are we going to beat that this week, do we reckon?
No, don't put the league down like that. It was 9 finishes,
Oh,
but of course
9.
Yori was a reserve driver, so that's why he doesn't appear on the standings anywhere. Definitely 9. And speaking of numbers, number 56, Casper, first out in qualifying, he will become the 56th driver to start a cup race in JACKOCAR. And he will be out hopefully shortly, providing we don't get another timing glitch like we had last week where we were about 45 seconds out.
Yeah, the timing glitch is particularly annoying. I don't actually know why it still happens, the timing glitch, because it, as usual, it's one of the things that Codemasters claim they fix, but then they never actually do. But hopefully we get out again. Obviously Casper has his time. Well, it's past now, so I assume we might well have the issue again.
So I assume there's a glitch, yeah.
Do you want to know what I think's causing this? It might even be the fact that we're sat on a PS5 and we've loaded into the lobby earlier, perhaps, and maybe some of the others aren't, and it has to go. Maybe that's what's happening there. Because last week the timer was about a minute out.
Yeah, it was about sort of now-ish, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
we'll see if Casper comes out at 16 minutes, because then that would mean that yes, he is actually going out on the right slot, I think. And,
it's very quiet, isn't it?
Well, we've got news here that we're expecting rain in 10 to 15 minutes here. Ooh!
Now that is interesting.
That is interesting, isn't it? And yes, as we expected, there's Casper straight out 1 minute late, just like last week. So it is a game problem, it's not on Casper. So he will be okay to do his qualifying lap as he comes out of the pit lane. And let's have a little look at how his livery's looking. It's quite nice, I think. It's very nice, actually. I'm a fan of this one. We've had some great liveries so far this season already, but I'm liking the sort of Patronus blue on there, and you've got the silver and the black, and even the little red trim on the wing mirror. Stands out, doesn't it? I like it.
It does. However, I'm not too sure how the ART boys will feel with a ART driver running an almost speed livery.
Yeah,
but I do like it.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, Casper actually racing in place of a speed driver, that is Risky Racer. And the other changes to note are Khalifa is in for Iceman, who's not here, and Redmat, a speed driver who is in for Paul McGuinness. Stages tonight are lap 7 and lap 13, and 2 jokers who are Camo Babo and Jake O'Sullivan, or Cadgeman, as it will be shown on your timing screen.
Yes.
P12 at the moment.
So we will see Casper's first lap soon. Khalifa's also not out of the pits as well. As you all know, one-shot qualifying. This could be crucial, these early laps, because depending on how soon this rain comes, it could be maybe the first 5 to 10 laps are the really important ones. And it'll be all the drivers who were scoring 0 points in the last race who'd be benefiting from it. Although, sadly, Khalifa is one of them, so he'll be pretty much guaranteed pole position. But let's... Hold on. We're ERT members. It's meant to be a good thing, but we're not allowed to be biased here. Or are we? Or we're not? Well...
No, we're not. Not ideally.
Not ideally.
The league itself is associated with Team Speed, let's not forget.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we're past the days of cheering for overtake.
Khalifa, by the way, if he were the current champion of JACKOCAR, by the way, if he were to take a pole position tonight, it would be his 15th, more than anybody else, in only his 35th start.
Bit of a show off, isn't he? I mean, he's pretty OP on the game in general, but we got to give him credit. He is quite good, and honestly, we'll see what he's like. He didn't race in the first round, Khalifa, but he is still the reigning champion, which is worth nothing really if you're not actually going to be doing the whole season. But still, I digress. Still worth the title.
Champion, he will be up until about 2 weeks before Christmas as well.
Ah, yes. And speaking of the championship, you know what we're here for. We did have some stewards results. I did tell you that Arnold wasn't going to get the victory last week.
But it wasn't Kyle either, was it?
Kyle, though, because he had an illegal pit stop. Wasn't it illegal? So,
on lap 1.
In the end, Season 2 champion, Jamie, took the victory and is straight through into the playoffs. Of course, you win a race, you're into the playoffs. And that is where Jamie finds himself as Casper sets the first time of the day at 28.6.
And I would assume that's very good. Casper, actually a very fast driver, somebody who would, if he had a full-time seat, would challenge for the title. But Khalifa has invalidated Mr. Wyatt.
I still want to quickly point out this livery though, because I said this I think last week, all these liveries, they have different finishes on the paint. And it's making them look so much more vibrant this season. This is a great example of it.
Have you seen the sort of metallic red along the bottom of the left-hand side?
Very nice, isn't it?
Indeed.
That's an accident for Red Mats, who's binned it on the exit of 2. And that's his qualifying over. I mean, these guys obviously can take advantage because it's set to rain later in the session, and, well, 2 of them have not. So we'll see who goes after Red Mat then. I believe it'll be Mr. Kieran Spears. Now,
disqualified on the line last week in Baku.
We saw his onboard view of it after the race, and the game just flat out disqualified him before he even had a chance to do anything. The poor guy, honestly, it couldn't have gone much worse last week, and it was completely out of his control. A driver who was relatively competitive last season, was close to a playoff or to a Championship 5 appearance, but didn't quite make it. Has he got a helmet on? Or is he missing his visor or something?
No, there's no helmet. It's just his balaclava that's showing.
He's got no helmet on. I thought that was weird. It's a weird looking visor. He hasn't got a helmet on. That's bizarre. That is bizarre. So we can't. I've never seen that before. We've seen drivers standing on top of their cars, but Kieran Spears, he's taken the "I don't want my eyes anymore" approach, and he hasn't got a helmet on. So, well, that'll shed some weight, but I'm not too sure. It's probably the best idea for his health.
Just to touch back on that about his chase campaign last season, he was 8 points away from getting into the Championship 5, but obviously missed out, as did Pete, and it went to Janel, who finished 3rd in the end. But Kieran, very good last season. However, he's now transferred to Will for this season, so he's got a big gap to make up before he gets back to where he was on pad. As he comes up towards the line, this will only be the second lap of 4 drivers. That's a 29.9.
Oh, that's a long way behind, isn't it? Maybe, as you say, showing how good Casper's lap was there. Here is Camo Babu, the next driver up. A bit of purple and green. It's like an alien green. This is like a proper nice livery. I'm a fan of this. Very nice. And has he got a helmet on? He's even got a helmet on for good measure. I consider it. Engineered insanity on the hill though as well. All looking very nice. But how is the lap looking as he heads through the final sector now? 28.6 is the time to beat. No sign of any rain yet. But we'll see later on in the session. That's when we're expecting it to arrive.
Yeah.
Here he comes Time is half a second off.
29.1, yeah. So, any new pole sitter today?
Raining, it's raining.
As the rain starts to fall, any new pole sitter today will be the 13th pole person in the Cup Series, and I think it's going to go to Casper.
Well,
unless Thomas can get a lap in here, it's going to need to be mega.
Yeah, it really is. I'm surprised it came that early actually, but Thomas very wide, maybe going for the quicker exit though. But it'll take some drive to get a fast lap here. When the rain falls here in France, it really falls, and it just becomes undrivable pretty much straight away.
And Owen, what's important is, even though all these drivers now, maybe apart from Thomas, will know that pole position has gone, it's important to still get a lap in, because it could be a very mixed up grid. P3, so for the likes of Camo, Thomas and Kieran now, and Casper, you know, they got a great shot of winning this race, starting in the top 4.
Here is Jamie then, coming out of the final corner. Has
Other
he
Jamie?
been able to find... Yes, the other Jamie. Has he been able to find any purchase? He's close to P1, but not quite there. He's second though on the grid. Let's say every single lap in here, they're going to get slower and slower all the time, I'd imagine. So we'll see how Cloudy Balloons goes next.
Gotta feel sorry for whoever's been caught out on the dry tyres of any kind here in this transition period in qualifying. Cloudy, I think, might just get away with it towards the end of the lap, but anybody down from here, starting from, well, Jake, it's going to be very, very tough for them if they're not on the wet tyres.
And this is the thing, they've got to be on the ball here. They might be sitting there thinking, I've lost pole position. But as Cloudy goes P3, there are only 6 times on the board. And so if you're on the right tyres, you could still find yourself in a high grid position. So every lap here will still matter. It's just moving up for the highest positions. So that'll be important to see who is thinking ahead about this as we watch Jake coming through the last couple of corners now. Still on the soft, still looking relatively quick. It's not raining as heavily here as it's seen in other situations, and that might be helping these guys as Jake goes 4th fastest.
And how are we pronouncing this guy's name this week, Owen?
Marion. I believe that's how you say his name. We did call him Marion last week, but Marion, I've genuinely sat there and thought, right, how do you actually say it? And believe Marion, got it nailed. And let's see how he does with his lap as he heads up the hill through the Scene corner. Rain is still getting heavier all the time, and you can see the understeer there.
Wide.
Thomas did that as well on his lap, and it ended up leading to a bit of a better exit out of the corner, but I'm not sure that was intentional from Ryan there, because it did look like it was a bit too understeery to be intentional. But we'll see as he comes through the last couple of corners what sort of lap he's going to come up with.
He might get a bit of a toe off of MK Bourne here, yeah.
He might well get a wee toe. Doesn't need
small.
to be a big toe, but he might gain 1 or 2 mile an hour top speed, although he's not actually taking the toe, is he? He's just going to the line. He's gone.
Oh, what a lap.
P2. Good lap there.
What a lap.
Marion, yeah, good stuff there.
Okay, Esti Matsen, Kia Series champion from Season 1 or Season 3, however you want to look at it. Do we like this livery? I think I do. It's messy, but I kind of like it.
It stands
out. It's like
out.
a sunburst yellow and pink, isn't it?
Reminds me of, remember fruit salad sweets?
Yeah.
Reminds me a bit of those. I quite like it. But his middle sector is looking a bit in the mud, unfortunately. He's looking like he's going to be right at the back of these times. Is that maybe a suggestion that the rain's getting a little bit heavier? I don't know.
I think it might be starting to affect everybody now. Like I say, it is a transition period. We won't be long before it's intermediates, surely not. But there's only 5 minutes, technically 6 minutes left of this session.
Here he comes to the line. Is it going to be last? Unfortunately it is. That might well be the track getting to that point where it's just not competitive anymore on dry tyres. And we've got
one
yellow
of those
flags.
where you really can blame the weather.
Yes, yellow flags. Don't believe anyone's had an incident actually. I think they're just putting yellow flags out because they can. And I think it's Marion on his in lap. He isn't crashing though. Here's NK Bourne. Let's see how he's going to get on. As Jake is retired from the session. Here it comes. MK Bourne is looking like another slow lap, unfortunately. It's going to be even slower than SD Mats. I think the track is just hitting that point now. But still, he's set the 10th fastest time, and it could stay the 10th fastest time. So
it could, yeah.
It could still not be the end of the world. Let's see how Patino is getting on. Look at him, he's having to lift through Scene corner just to not spin the car. And you can see him really struggling to get. The third sector is the one you really struggle on when it rains here. And you can see.
You can see it.
Yeah, the rear end sliding, but he's keeping it all facing in the right direction. Like I say, every position counts here. Because at the end of the day, it's still a 2-stop race, so it's not like qualifying outside the top 10 or anything like that. It's a massive advantage. You just want to qualify somewhere high, and so if 11's the highest you can get, you make sure you get it. And here is, I assume, a P10, P11 time. Might get ahead of NK Bourne. Doesn't though. He's 3.1 seconds off the pace. I saw Pete in the pits has... Oh, he spun actually.
Oh, he spun,
on his lap. I was saying in the pits he was looking at the mediums. was wise to avoid that decision, but even still, the softs aren't grippy enough.
Oh, and this is a great opportunity to talk about another new rule. If you invalidate or spin or have a poor qualifying lap, you must now complete the hot lap regardless. It's a new rule we brought in. So,
KK's done it too. And what's he doing?
Any of the sensible drivers will have always done that anyway, but it is now an official rule that they must complete the hot lap.
Of course, there's always a bit of a loophole in that rule, though, isn't there? Because if you invalidate your lap, what's to say you can't just straight line all the fast corners to make sure that you're the highest of the invalid times, you know? Or is it not how that works? Is that not how it works?
They would face a penalty, absolutely. P12 for Pete, Season 1 champion.
Yeah, KK might find himself being a bit slower than that. I don't know if he forgot about the rule. He's obviously trying to stay out of people's ways, but he's, well, quite slow. He doesn't spin here, and he should still potentially go quicker than Pete, but it will be... he won't. He won't. He's only cruising. He's not going to go quicker than us. So a bit of a missed opportunity there for maybe to steal an extra position. I know it doesn't sound like much, but if it's there, you can take it. Kyle is on his lap, and you can see the track is soaked now. I mean, this is about 3 seconds off the pace now in that middle sector for Kyle, which straight away puts him down to P12 effectively, because it will get even slower in this final sector. And everyone after him, I believe, will surely go slower.
Big moment there.
As long as Kyle
keeps it together.
Yeah, keeps it all facing in the right direction. It is extremely difficult and unfortunate conditions here. There's nothing these drivers can do about the weather. They're just going to deal with the hand that they've been dealt, and let's see if Kyle can get to the end of the lap, and well, it should be, I suppose, for the fastest time.
I don't want to tempt fate, but I think we can almost confirm Casper will be on pole position, the 13th driver to be on pole in the Cup Series. And of course, we know that there is a bit of a history with super fast drivers being on pole in their debut and not making much of it.
Well, we'll see what all happens in the race. Obviously, I guess adapting to the JACKOCAR system is a much different league format to others, so that might be why they struggle a tad more. And DRS is now disabled, which is really just it's made Jordan's day, that, because I think he was just about to use it on the back straight, and he's had it taken away from him. And so he's now going to have to finish this lap, unfortunately, even slower than he would have been before. I mean, you can see how much he's struggling on the onboard. It's a nightmare to drive. I think it's another 2-3 seconds slower than Kyle was. The problem is, if you're out there on softs now, this is why Pete was wise to finish the lap. Maybe why OKK, who pitted and didn't finish the lap, wasn't wise. Because one, it's against the rules. But two, if you're on the soft tyres at this stage of the game, you could find yourself actually being more than 12.9 seconds off the pace by the end of your lap. And so, you know, Pete finishing that time, despite the spin, it might end up being good, because you can see that Jordan's got absolutely no grip whatsoever. It's at this point on the regular lap, you'd be expecting to be blasting down the main straight, but you're still stuck at the final corner. And could this end up being more than 12 seconds off the pace? Let's see, as Jordan comes down the final corner, because it will be a good indication for the other guys that haven't finished their laps yet. Okay, it'll be about the 10 seconds.
Yeah, just ahead of Pete there.
Yeah, they're catching up to
Pete.
Pete's
Had a spin.
time now. They're catching up to Pete's time, and as you say, it's a spin as well in that lap time. So next up is Arnold. Let's see what he's going to do.
Arnold, it'd be gutted for this. Obviously, he'll be coming in after that penalty in Baku, hoping to try and get another result on the board, and he's going to be all the way down in P14 to start the race, with 2 drivers left to go, Cam and last week's race winner, J-Luke. But Cam first.
Yes, here is Cam, crawling through the middle sector. He was right on the back of Jamie at the end of the race last week. Little did we know that would have been for the race victory. As he said, one more lap, it would have been a victory for him. He showed really good pace. He blamed it on
Kyle going slowly as well and holding him up. But that sounds like a racing driver excuse, doesn't it?
It does, and he is a good driver as well. I think I'm
very good, yeah. You
know, I don't want to tempt fate with him, but I have a feeling Championship 5 could definitely be on the cards this season for him if he keeps it up, because he's been so consistent, you know. He got really unlucky at points last season, and if he gets more luck this time round, it could be a good season. This isn't luck, though, unfortunately, because this is going to send him down into 14th, 15th, probably 16th place.
All it's done is just flip the race result from last week, near enough.
Yeah. Which is quite good, because it means all these people with no points are sitting at the front of the grid. As Cam just about...
That just screams JACKOCAR, doesn't it?
Oh, and Jamie has lost it at Scene Corner. Now, of course, he has to finish the lap, of course. Nothing he can do. I think his Arnoud's
He might
on an inlap.
beat Pete's time still.
He's no chance of that now, has he? He will just have to finish the lap, but he will go 17th fastest. Which
Yeah. Cleveland validated, Red Matt crashed, and OKK forgot to finish his lap. I think the penalty for that is just a warning on your first occasion.
Yeah.
The new rule I mentioned, Darnell gets out of the way of Jamie. But yeah, it should be P17. It will be P17, surely.
Yes.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, easy.
But it will be, by far, the slowest lap of the day. Definitely intermediate conditions now, you could say. Maybe it would have been wiser to be on the intermediates. He might have made a bit more time, qualified to something like P13. But alas, he's P17 in the end. Casper is on pole then for the French Grand Prix. And straight away, our Twitter chat is saying, so Arnoud's going to win from 14th today. Arnoud had pretty much all the luck in the world, in fairness, last week. He had a puncture under safety car and ended up being an advantage to him. So it'll take quite a lot for him to get as lucky as that. But then he obviously had the accident at the end. But we'll see how he does from 14th. Many people think he is the fastest at the moment in the league, which is fair to say. But the order: Casper, Marion, Jamie, Cloudy, Jake, Camo Babo, Thomas, Kieran, Estimats, and MK Bourne. Outside the top 10, you've got Patino, Kyle, Jordan, Arnoud, Cam, Pete, J-Luke, Redmat, Khalifa, and OKK. Only 3 drivers didn't set a time in that session.
Yep, and Red Matt, I've just seen, I think, was blaming one of the curbs, by the way. I don't know if you caught that on stream, but I've just seen it in the chat there.
Well, that bouncy turn 2 exit curve is a bit of a nightmare. I'll give it that.
Awful, isn't it?
It could lead to some drama on the first lap here, actually, depending on how they take it. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what the weather is as well, of course. I haven't actually seen what they've been saying about the weather, but it's nice and dry by the looks of it.
You know what, Owen? This is the first time since we introduced this qualifying system that it's actually gone from dry to wet. We've had wet in the last couple of minutes before, but where it started fully dry and stayed, relatively dry all the way through until it's got wet. It's the first time it's actually happened. And, it's given us a mixed-up grid, which is exactly what we want.
Yeah, indeed. Makes for a very interesting race today. Obviously, after last week, we had a bit of carnage. Maybe this time we're going to get some masterclasses from the back of the grid. And we'll see how everyone gets on. I'm sure they'll have learned plenty from last week. Obviously, it's their first race in the league for ages, and maybe they're a bit rusty on it. But now that they're here, they've had their first race, points are on the board, people know what they have to do to get back into the championship because they might already be 20 points behind. We will see how they respond today. Could be a good day for Casper, as you say, on pole, but it's tended in the past to actually end up being a bit of a bad omen to be on pole for the first time, which is quite odd. And you can already see he's had a bad start off the dummy grid, so don't do that on the real thing and you should be fine. Very colourful grid, isn't it? Look at that, what a shot.
It is, yeah.
Now, has Kieran got a helmet on yet? No, he doesn't. He's going to do the whole race with a balaclava.
It's very brave of him. Fair play.
Yeah. You know this is getting sent straight to Codemasters, right? This is just... this is peak. Yeah. Could you imagine this happens in esports? My God.
I know. I'll tell you what, Owen, I've just noticed, actually. Obviously, Casper, reserve driver, a new reserve driver. And then second, third and fourth place are all the brand new drivers, the full-time ones for Cup Series this season.
Wow.
So the new boys, it's a good day for the new boys.
Yeah, new boys have.
And then you've got the old guard of Camo Babo down in P6. He's been here since day one as Camo Babo. Jake joined us last season.
And who are the Jokers again?
That's a very nice livery.
Who are the Jokers again?
It is Camo Babo, and also...
was it Jake?
It was Jake, yeah.
Yeah.
And they start on row 3 together.
So that qualifying's definitely helped their day as
massive.
Well.
And Jake, of course, crashed out last week. That's why he was so early on in qualifying, and Camo Babo wasn't here. And now they both got a chance to win the race. If it stays dry, no safety cars, great chance for him. Also, new livery for Jake. I quite like that.
Yeah, I'm a fan of his livery. I'm a fan of quite a lot of liveries. I think Cloudy's changed his a bit this week as well.
Yeah, it looks a small change to Cloudy's.
Yeah, because it looked a bit like vomit last week. I think he's taken that on board. The yellow's a lot more sort of a golden yellow now. which is nice and bright in the sun, and the complementary black and white as well makes it a very tasty livery indeed, I must say. Look at all the little
and
designs
a helmet
on it
to match as well. Why not?
Ah, yes, very
Felipe
nice.
Massa style helmet.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it. It's much better than last week, so well done, Glidey. But like I say, all these liveries are looking fantastic. Even, it's just, I love it. I love it. So much colour this season. Yeah. A lot more out there liveries, and yeah, it's very much a fan.
I'll tell you what, it's time to get excited. You got Season 3 champion P19, Season 1 champion P16, Season 2 champion P17. Also last week's race winner is J-Luke down in P17. Mixed up grid, what we've always wanted, what we dream of every week. But Owen, it's your time to shine.
MK Bourne has just left the session, which is a shame, and the lights are being spammed on her. Look at that, all 5 just flew on straight away. Luckily I caught it, and oh no. One car's been... We've got a car reversing backwards, look. What the hell's happened there? That could be a safety car already, but we are away. MK Bourne somehow has not a disqualification reversing on the grid, but Casper's got through to turn 1 okay. Ahead of Marion and Jamie and Clyde, and we've got a spin for Camababo. That could be a safety car because that was surely a big contact. Debris will be everywhere as Camababo collided into one of the green looking cars. I think I can't quite recall who it was. Might have been Kyle, who's got a broken front wing.
It's possibly Kieran actually, but you might be right yourself. But I'm not too sure. We'll have to find out.
Kieran's still looking okay up there in P7, although he is actually being slipstreamed now by Arnaud, who's had a really good start up to P8 now, trying to go for P7, and Marion has taken lead of the race. He didn't take long with that one. I'm surprised by that, going for lead so early. Casper might challenge him back as Cloudy goes past Jamie as well. Is Marion going to defend to the inside of Seeing Corner? He is indeed. And Casper, it'd be a risky move on that one, and you can see that they're new to the league, aren't they? Certainly not something we're used to seeing fights on that one. So not used to seeing it, I completely missed it, so apologies for that. But, well, I'm sure they'll fight more
Jake
later
up to P4, importantly enough. Obviously, Jamie's car not actually here, down to P7 now as Arnaud gets by him. So, yeah, Marine, he was giving it all the talk. He pits early.
Oh.
Marine, he was giving it all the big one all of last week in the build-up to the first race, and now he's finally starting to show it.
Kieran spun, making an overtake in the final corner. That pit stop for Moran is a scheduled stop as Khalifa leaves the session. And I believe we've got another few pitters. We've got SD Mats, we've got MK Bourne. Have we got MK Bourne?
Oh, he's on Camababo.
It's Camababo.
See if he goes on the hard tyres.
Yeah, we've got a stacking.
Oh, he's being held up by Marine.
It's
Sorry,
Kyle.
is that Kyle?
Yeah, Kyle.
It's Kyle. Oh, no.
I guess that's kind of justice though, because it is Camababo, but it sort of broke Kyle's wing anyway. So fair enough, that's a penalty sorted then. The game's dealt with it itself. But I have a piss then.
That's instant karma, that is.
Yeah, so
but only the medium tyres, they won't go to the end, so that's a joker wasted for the season as well. The other one, up into P3.
Yeah, good start from Jake, but like I say, Marion with a scheduled stop then, so that's interesting. We'll see how that works out for him. But to Estimats, Kyle and Camab, I believe they were all possibly damaged. Although Estimats did look like he had damage actually, he's well ahead of the other guys that did have damage, so maybe he was scheduled as well. But back at the front now, Casper, he did cross the line P1 at the end of the last lap, even though he got overtaken, so he has led the whole race pretty much. Clyde Balloons is challenging him and looking to try and take this lead off him. He had an accident last week under the safety car in Baku, had a very long, quite comedic rant afterwards, and he's looking at correcting that mistake last week by taking the lead, but everyone behind these guys are really looking quite quick indeed. Like I say, Arnaud and Pete and Redmat and Jamie, I wonder if the order's looking
Thomas up there as
down.
well, yeah.
Is the order upside down or something, or if they all just have incredible starts? That's mad.
Incredible starts, yeah, but a lot of pitters as well.
Certainly opens the race as well. Up.
Kieran spun, obviously MK Bourne's not here, Khalifa left the session. Jamie G left the session up into P12 now, or down into P12. Okay, K up to P13.
Here comes Jake. Like I say, he's a Joker man, and he's trying to make the moves on Cloudy Balloons as he goes down the inside. A committed move. Will Clyde be
play.
able to cut back on him? Not quite.
Where's Jake's pace come from this season? I mean, he was fairly good last season, but he's just gone up a whole nother level.
It's very impressive, isn't it? As he
Yeah.
continues on. Is this a first victory on the cards? As he heads round, trying to get up to Casper. It feels inevitable, this one, especially with DRS in play. More ERS as well than Casper. Should be an easy move.
Speaking of winners, Owen, we've only ever had 16 race winners in Cup Series. So the next new one would be number 17, Jake, Casper, Cloudy, Marine. Oh, look. Lively for it, don't they? It's yellow flag, sector 3.
That could be safety car.
I don't
That looks like
see
an
anything.
accident
It's
to me.
Khalifa.
Virtual safety car.
The season 3 champion is out.
That's a shame for him as well on his reserve appearance. And it looks like a pretty big accident as well. It's lost it where others were losing it in qualifying, and he spun all the way off to the Armco. And now it's a full safety car. It's been upgraded. And Jamie, he's a ghost. He's not here, is he? But I reckon he might have been in the pit lane anyway. But before that safety car was announced.
No, he did rejoin, and yeah, he was definitely in.
So he should be okay, yeah. Because it was upgraded to safety car, I think, while he'd already committed.
Yeah, he was. He would have been committed the way this pit lane entry works.
Yeah. Let's say that's one of the new features of this game, of course. Virtual safety cars upgrading to full safety cars, and that is what we've got here. I guess this helps Mariah out as well, because it means he doesn't have to worry about all this catching up malarkey, because he's just getting caught up now. So that lap 1 pit stop, what it does is that it means he only has to make one more stop in the whole race, while everyone else ahead of him has to make 2. And now he'll be right on the back of them. And let's just confirm he is the highest one stopper. SD Max, Jordan, Jamie, Kyle and Cammy Webber will all get to catch up as well. And so that doesn't look too bad for them actually. But we'll see how this all pans out. No one's got any damage as far as I'm aware, so this should be everyone staying out.
Absolutely. So yeah, like you say, it's great for Marine, and it kind of cancels out Jake's Joker, but he has 11 cars in between himself and Marine, so
it doesn't really.
Jake very much still on for it.
Yeah, Jake's Joker, it makes it a little bit more annoying, but actually he has one more stop to make, so yeah, sorry, he's actually still the net leader of this thing, effectively, and Marion is actually 10 places behind him, so he does still get to catch up and all that, but Jake, with the pace he's got, might be alright actually. And obviously Canberra with his Joker's gone out the window, because there's no way those sauce would go to the end, or those mediums would go to the end, I don't think. So he might have to bolt some sauce on later on. But yeah, this will be fascinating, this race, when the safety car goes in. End of lap 6 is when you get the first playoff point, isn't it? I imagine Casper might be the recipient of that.
Should just get it.
Yeah. Because I don't think...
Yeah, he would, because he's not allowed to pit. He's not allowed to follow the safety car in, is he? So
yeah, although it's a long straight, I don't think he'll get jumped that easily. So Casper should be picking up his first point.
Can't go to the start-finish line anyway.
Well, of course, yes.
So,
sorry, forget about that. That's my bad.
That's alright.
Yes, he will.
So I forget half the new rules as well.
And you're the one who wrote them, man.
I'm not actually.
Oh, you're not? No, you've got
shout out to Iceman and Newgarden for writing the majority of them. I mean, I had some input, definitely, but the rule book itself was written by those two.
Fair enough. So, yeah, like I say, I think the safety car will probably... It'll be touch and go whoever comes in on this lap. I think Canada was just too far behind, actually. So I don't think it'll go in this lap, and so that should mean that Casper will be pretty much guaranteed the playoff point. But we'll keep our eye on those lights. They only actually reach the safety car at the start of this lap, so it'll be a bit silly for it to go straight in again. The game doesn't tend to do that unless it's right at the end of the race. The red Mercedes. They haven't got the green Aston Martin in this game for some strange reason. I don't actually know why, but it's a shame, because I quite like the look of the Aston Martin safety car. I'm sure a lot of you do as well. But we only have the boring red Mercedes. But oh well. You
wouldn't say no to having it though, would you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't mind
in real life.
I don't mind it being there in real life, yeah. But in the game, it just looks a bit blech. But well. Now Jake has committed to the pit lane and then decided not to, so maybe he's just trying to bait me there. But he was certainly in the pit lane entry there. Wants to be careful you don't pit under the safety car, something of course you cannot do. and the safety car has stayed out, and it will probably go in at the end of this lap because Camaro will catch this train probably by the end of the main straight, I'd imagine. And
easy, yeah.
Yeah, then we can get ready to restart this race. The race that has already had plenty of drama. The game let MK Bourne go first for some reason, about a good 3 or 4 seconds before the rest of them got off the line, but instead of bolting to the lead, which he could have done, he decided to reverse into someone. So the intention to be kind and keep where he should be was there, but he sort of got a bit wrong. But he's still in the race at least. And then obviously we saw Khalifa out of the race, and we saw Marion making quite the gamble on the first stop. I don't think we've ever seen this strategy done intentionally before in JACKOCAR. You tend to see it being done...
We have, but we've never seen it pulled off.
Well, so we tend to see it through damage being done, but we've never seen it work as well as this, because he seems to have the pace for it. He was so determined to get straight into the lead on the first lap, so committed that I never even thought it would happen, and I totally had missed it. But yeah, hopefully we'll catch him when he gets up to the lead later on, which I have a feeling he might, because he's looking very good today.
Absolutely. Jamie G, by the way, the reason why he left the session is somebody turned his internet off in the house, so that's why he had a poor start and is down in P17, but 1 pit stop in hand. So everybody from Marine down, and obviously Jake up in P2, 1 pit stop left. Everyone else has got to make 2.
City car in this lap then, as we expected.
And the first stage point at the end of this lap is Casper's. It's guaranteed, provided he doesn't forget to pit.
Yes.
Or forgets that he can't pit, I should say.
Hopefully he'll stay out. I mean, I don't see why anyone would pit at the end of the century, because you'd be shoved to the back of the grid. Maybe you want to get a few laps ahead and make a gap to the guys that have already pitted before you pit anyway yourself. But hopefully no one makes a mistake. And I must say, the more I look at Casper's livery, the more I love it. Seriously, this is such a nice livery. Man, it's
I just
good.
wonder if he knows the rules and remembers not to go until the start line.
Well, you can see he's
just before the start line.
You can see he's already sticking to the limiter, isn't he?
Yeah,
so,
fair play to him.
As long as you do that up to the line, it will not let you go anyway. So,
I assume he's read the rules as well, looking at this.
Yeah,
absolutely what we love to see. 4 perfect restarts last week.
Weaving there, look at him. He's doing it a bit differently to how we've seen the others do it last week, actually. He's aggressively warming the tyres. The problem is, though, everyone knows when he's going to go, and that's now. And, well, Jake didn't quite expect it. And he's going straight up into second place on the inside, Cloudy. And he doesn't quite make it stick, and they're going to make a bit of contact, and they're not careful, and that is... no, he's having an accident. And there's a few cars going right. We've got utter carnage. A lot of runoff for these guys to get onto, so it maybe looks a lot worse than it is. But Cloudy Balloons has off the track as well. A lot of mistakes on this restart lap, and he has sent Pete spinning off as well. So, Thomas, Arnaud, a few more involved as well. And we have got a messy restart here in France. We said those first couple of corners could cause problems, and they have. And Marion has made a position up in all this, but he has no front wing. So he got caught up in it as well, Jacko.
Oh, unbelievable for him. He had a fantastic start, like we've been saying. And also Arnaud looking for redemption this week. Oh, look at them go around the outside of Marion. Yes. Arnaud, who needed redemption, he's at the back of the pack now. I think he was hit by his fellow countryman Thomas.
I wasn't
saying
sure,
all of that.
But I think he lost it actually on the exit. I could be wrong, but it felt like he'd lost the back end and then spun into Thomas. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure all the drivers have plenty of stuff to say on it. But how many are gonna pit? Because it was hard to pick up how many cars had damage there, because they all bolted
and speeds into the pit lane.
It's a shame that. Jake will take the lead of the race then, obviously on his one stop. I'm sure someone will have told him...
He's just got to go now.
I'm sure someone will have told him, Ryan has broken his front wing, he's broken the front wing, you should have a win pretty much in the bag now, as long as you keep it all clean. And so hopefully
and also,
he's okay.
News just in from the man who wrote the rules, Iceman, saying that restart was absolute perfection. And I think he's referring to what Casper did, and not what everyone else did behind.
Look at the amount of people having to stack here. Jack, I think Casper OKK has come out quite nicely. Red Matt Thomas has come out alright. I think it's Arnoud and Marion who had to stack. And you can see Marion is still sat there, and Arnoud is still sat there.
2 potential race winners as well that had to stack
so
there.
far behind
OKK's not complaining, is he?
Well, like
Camo
I say,
Babo, up to 6th.
It's a shame he didn't stick the hards on, isn't it, for his Joker strategy?
Absolutely, yeah.
Mind you, I guess
think he could have done something.
If you get a couple more safety cars, maybe you could squeeze a little bit more life out of the medians, but I imagine he'll probably stick Sauce on later on anyway. It might be better for his race at this point to stick Sauce on later. But yeah, he's up to P6.
If this game is anything like F1 2020, you can get 17, 18 laps out of the mediums.
Yeah.
But it is a push. It is a massive push.
Now, Cloudy Balloons is... Apologies.
Sped into the pit lane as well.
Haven't got COVID as well.
Don't do it again.
But he's a sped, and Pete's now into the pits as well. He has a 10-second penalty. Hopefully the game doesn't make him take that in the pits, because I'd say he had a pretty good case to have that taken off him. Because Cloudy is the one that sort of sent him spinning off, and well, he did the right thing by not getting into other people's way as he came back onto the track. But sadly, the game decided he was going to get a penalty because he spent too long off the track. But yeah, hopefully the game doesn't make him take a 10-second penalty here. I think it only does 5 seconds in the pits, and it does indeed. So he should be able to get that taken off later on, I'd imagine. But
assuming that there is not another safety car, I think there's a rule we've written down somewhere about that.
Looks like Casper's gone by Jamie up into P6 now, having a good run.
Jamie yet to pit as well.
He's having a good run. That 5-second penalty might frustrate him quite a lot, though, unfortunately, Casper. But we'll see how he gets on despite it.
His 5-second penalty come from speeding into the pit lane, so that won't be able to get removed.
He will have to take it on the next pit stop. So
yep.
He just has to time it right, I guess. Obviously, Jake is leading by quite a long way from him now. We've got, I think, Thomas facing the wrong way. Yes, we do. In number 28. Just going to have to recover himself back on. Don't know if there was contact or something, but he's got to stay on track here because the game does give a lot more penalties for being off track this year, I've noticed. We saw it happen, of course, with Pete, so we know it happens.
Jake pits.
Jake does pit, the last man on
That'll
the
be mediums to the end.
Yep, this is the Joker strategy going according to plan so far. We'll see where he comes out. I imagine he'll probably be behind Casper, but we'll see. He's
hards
on that.
He's taking the precaution.
I think that's
I can respect that as well.
I think it's probably the safe decision, but it might not be the right decision because you'll be kind of against a lot of soft runners at the end of the race, and you might find yourself with just no grip. Does he jump Cloudy Balloons? He tried jumping.
He comes out in front of Cloudy, yeah. So that's full position. That makes him net race leader.
Oh, that'll frustrate Cloudy.
Yeah. Cloudy on the faster mediums though. That has another stop to make.
Well, he's on.
So yeah, it's all in Jake's hands.
Well, he's on mediums that are 1 lap bed in, so they'll be nice and warmed up, and Jake's will take a lot longer to warm up. So perhaps this is a chance for an overtake here for Cloudy. We know he's a bit aggressive on it. We saw him give it a go a few times. Will he try again now? He likes a late braking move, does Cloudy? As he goes to the outside, will he get round there? It's the best overtaking line. They've hit each other. And that'll be both cars facing the wrong way. Hopefully they ghost. Cloudy, well, he didn't ghost, but there's nothing Red Mac could have really done about that. He's luckily put the brakes on, though, and recovered quite nicely. Virtual safety car for the spins as well. Marion has retired. That might actually be an accident. I wonder if that's why we've actually got the VSC. I think he's parked it on the main straight, look, Jacko. He's now disappeared.
Who am I looking at, sorry?
He's Marion spinned it on the main straight, by the looks of it. But VSC for that. That will not be upgraded, I don't think. But that's a real shame for Cloudy and Jake there. Because they must have lost about 4 or 5 seconds. Cloudy, though, he did get the move done, at least. You're looking at it that way.
Looking back, I did quickly look at the replay on the stream there. It looked like Cloudy just turned in on him. But, everything happens so quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, you'll have to see.
I'm sure one of them, if they're not happy with it, it'll be reported.
No, you can pit under VSC, can't you?
Yeah, well, yes, you can. Look at Jake on the back of Cloudy.
NK-born drive-through. That's not gone well. But we are green again. OKK and Kieran might have made up a second or two, maybe, on the pack by making their pit stops now. But the gap they've got to Casper they must have lost about 3 or 4 seconds because that VSA came out as they were facing the wrong way, so they wouldn't have lost nearly as much time as they would in a normal scenario. They didn't pit either, so they don't seem to have any damage. Obviously, we'll have to see the onboards from both those drivers. The outside line is the best line for overtaking and tends not to be too hard either. So I'm wondering if maybe Jake got a bit late on the brakes or what. But it helps Casper a little bit, but I'd still say Jake's stronger on the strategy. But we will see. It's only lap 11. Plenty of time to decide all this. Crucially, Jake doesn't have a penalty. That could be a deciding factor today. As long as he keeps it penalty free, that mistake, that collision might not mean too much in the end, but we will see as the race develops.
That's exactly what I was going to say there. So despite everything, you know, he's still in the window to win, and obviously drivers in front, 4 out of the 6 that are in front, all have penalties.
We've got another yellow flag. I believe that's Thomas facing the wrong way again, and it is.
Again, yeah.
We've got
both the Belgians at the back.
Race leader into the pit lane. He is what's he in for actually? I think has he had a drive-through penalty? I think he's had a drive-through penalty. He's not changed tyres, so that's Jamie taking a penalty. And he's come out just in front of Jake, who's going to dive down the inside, and I believe SD Mats has had a spin. Look out, Clyde! Oh, nearly hit him, but he's managed to avoid the spinning SD Mats, who will recover now. He's got a big enough gap to Pete to not have to worry. Just going to confirm, Jamie has made 1 stop, but I don't think he changed. I don't know if that counted, but we'll see. Anyway,
no,
I think
Jamie G had already made 1 stop, and then that was a drive-through.
Yeah, so that was a drive-through penalty. Soon for speeding under the VSC, which is a shame for him, as Camo Babo
gets past Jake.
On out fastest lap, and yes, Jamie is ahead of Jake. Yellow flag again, that is for
Thomas.
Potentially Thomas again. He's really struggling, doesn't seem to have the setup under him at the moment. And it's, yeah, well, he's ruined his race a little bit, but as long as he stays on track until maybe the next safety car, he can get back into it.
Do you know something we don't, Owen?
Well, as long as he's the one who does it. As long as he's not the one that causes it, it's always worth staying in the game, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Despite having a pretty miserable day.
And anybody who's watched JACKOCAR or even raced here before, you know that the races are not over until that checkered flag waves, because anything can happen. As Kyle begins the lap where the last stage point will be handed out.
Yep. He has got a penalty, but it's not really going to matter too much to him at the moment. He's here for the point. He will get the point. And then he'll probably what tire is he going to go on to in the end? It'll surely be another set of those fancy mediums he might end up choosing rather than softs. That's where maybe pitting early is a bad finisher. Camababu and Kyle and SD Mats and maybe Ryan, but yeah, that's where they're going to suffer potentially on just having worse tires at the end. As Cloudy Balloons comes past Camo Babo up into the podium positions. They're making a good gap to Jake, who doesn't have any pace on these tyres at the moment. These hard compound tyres are too slow, and they'll be slower still after everyone's made their second stops. And so I am wondering if this was the wrong decision from the Joker driver today. Because Casper, what's the gap now? It was about 4 seconds when the spin happened. It's now
6 seconds.
Closer to 6 seconds. I mean, he'll still be leading by a decent amount, but then surely he'll be closed down just so quickly.
Don't forget that 5-second penalty as well that Casper has. Yellow flags. Camo Babo.
Hopefully he doesn't hit anyone as he comes back on. He has a good gap to SD Mats, so he should be alright.
It's one less worry for Jake, isn't it? The other Joker driver having a spin.
Yeah. And
another spin? Why not?
Yeah,
just for good measure.
Careful. He might just put himself into the pit lane now, frankly. Where is it?
Make sure we catch that one on stream, eh?
Yes, there he goes. He'll put himself into the pit lane now, because that'll be the tyre's ruined, pretty much. So you might as well pit.
And that is textbook how not to do a Joker strategy.
Yeah, unfortunate. But he's into the pits now. He'll stick more millions on, he'll go to the end of the race, but as you say, his Joker is gone for the season now, and it hasn't worked out for him, sadly.
No. Kieran and OKK and also Camo Babo lead drivers on 2 stops. as Kieran picks up a penalty for corner cutting, and a spin for OKK, but just about saves it on the exit of turn 2. Nobody behind him, so he won't lose any positions, just time away from Kieran. J-Luke up the road from these guys, doing his own little race, really.
Okay, another driver that decided that the hards were the better option. And I'm surprised by that. I really am surprised that they're going on them, and I just don't see them having the pace. It's just because in a regular sort of one-stop race, maybe you can make an argument for it, which is why Jake's done it, I guess. But when everyone's doing 2 stops, you know they'll be on softs at the end. So what chance have you got?
That's a very good question, actually. I mean, you look at Jamie in front, who will be going on to the softs in that final stint. He's 5 seconds up the road from OKK. You'd like to think OKK would have enough time in hand to cover off any attack from J-Luke. But what about all the drivers in front that are yet to stop? Who out of those, probably the majority of, will get past OKK, won't they? As 3 of them are in the pits now. Cam, Vitinho, Esti, Mats.
What are they going to go on to? I assume more mediums. This will be to the end of the race, I assume. Cam's going for the hard as well. With 13 to go.
I don't get it.
Is that a mistake from him? Like, I mean, why would you do that strategy right here? When you've
OKK in turn 1 now. That's the important driver to look out for.
Yes. Yeah, it's an interesting situation. This is
It's Camo Pabo. What's happened there?
Well, what has happened?
Final
there?
corner.
Is he? Well, I mean, his lap time is only 15 seconds off the pace, as Thomas has had another spin, and he's hit the ball for good measure.
Camo's cutting the entire track.
Right, he's going to get himself a black flag then soon, I'd imagine.
Yeah, here we go again.
Is he trying to cause a safety car or something? What's he doing? Kyle's into the pits. Obviously, he got his points a couple of laps ago. He doesn't need to still be out there, and so he's into the pits. What is Camu doing now? Could you see? We've seen
him do this before, haven't we?
Yeah, well, we've seen him get penalties for slowing down to the point where he practically had to stop. But this is the opposite. But yeah, he's taking the full Mistral strip. There you go, black flagged. I don't know what the point of that was, to be honest. Does he want to put a safety car out? Is that his plan? Because I don't think that's going to work, but we'll see. I'd be very surprised if this brings safety car out. Mind you, it is a car stopped on track, isn't it? So
it is, but it's pulled over nicely for AI, considering.
Yes.
We'll just watch this, and he leaves. Okay, so yeah.
Waste of time then.
Job done.
Yeah. Congratulations, you're out of the race as you intended.
And
as Red Matt goes past Jake.
Just to point out, to score points, you have to finish the race. It's points down to P20, but you have to finish to claim them.
Yeah, something tells me you forgot that. Just a hunch.
It's not seasons 1, 2, and 3 anymore. It's a new era.
No, it looks like Red Matt's the quickest man out there at the moment. He's having a good run. He obviously got by Jake. He's now looking at getting by Jamie. He's got good pace out there, the speed driver. We'll see how he does, though, in terms of his final result, where he'll end up. Obviously, with all these pit stops going on around him, I imagine he's now pitting as well.
And a penalty. Oh, for goodness sake.
Everyone's doing it, man. Who else wants
the one who didn't? The one who didn't do it was Jake, and he is still on the back of Jamie.
Jamie and Pete.
Yeah,
no one pitting for
Jamie's
sauce.
Not far from Cloudy.
No one's pitting for sauce at the minute, which is surprising me. I'm sure we'll get some on sauce, but not. It's not Red Matt. It's not Pete. It's a bit early, I guess, but why not just pit later then, you know?
Yeah, softs will do 10 laps around here, but they won't be very good at the end of those 10 laps.
Look at the train OKK's build, by the way, where you said to keep your eye on him. Well, we have our eye on you, and so does everyone else in this train.
Look at that. Look at Pete coming out in front of OKK. That's massive. That's huge. Yeah, he can drive away from that pack now. He didn't want to be stuck in that. OKK, Jordan, Esti, Vitinho, Arnold, J-Luke catching up as well.
Look at that.
And a move here. Jordan on the inside of OK King. Those hards not working.
Well, it's actually older hards as well. He's on in Jordan's on older hards than OKK.
Oh,
but SD Matt's on the best tires, so I assume he'll have a little go. OKK leaves in the room. Fair enough. No harm, no foul, but SD Matt's doesn't get through. That will give Patino a chance. There's another yellow flag. I'm not too sure if it's Thomas again, but we'll cut back to that because these are side by side. Patino on the inside gets through, and will Arno try anything? He's on the back of this now. He's going to go through SD Mats. He's up into 12th. And okay, he's actually lost one position on this lap, which oh well, that's enough.
Make that 2.
Oh well,
no, make quite. It 1. Oh, now spins, saves it.
That's not.
SD Mats back through now.
All right then. So Jordan's the only one who's going to overtake in this train. Then that's what we've learned. There you go. Actually, I'm just going to check the pit stops just to see who all's done what. So the top 4 all have to make their second stops, which would make Kyle.
Arnold making a move on SD Mats into turn 1. Owen, sorry to interrupt, but he gets it done.
Let's say it would.
And goes for a spin off the track. Goes Arnold.
Let's say
SD Mats back through.
Let's say Kyle. I don't actually quite know how he's made it to the lead of the race, but that's where he'll find himself. Obviously, apart from Jake, because Thomas gets a penalty. But he will be second then, Kyle. Somehow, I don't.
Kyle
really, feels he's gone a bit under the radar, that Kyle. But
he has, yeah.
Yeah, he's just sort of turned up. But there he is, 6.6 seconds off the man on older hards in front of him. Must be said, he does stand a wee chance there. But again, it's a penalty, which we said earlier could play a big factor. We'll see how that pans out in the end. Cloudy balloons. Go on, put some softs on. Used to. Jamie as well is in the pits. We want to see the soft compound tyre for someone now. Let's see some blistering laps to win this race as we have a yellow flag. And is that Thomas again, I wonder?
Oh, now
yes.
At the inside of SD again.
We've got soft tyres,
Thomas
Jacko.
spins again.
We've got soft tyres.
Oh my god.
This is incredible.
I thought I'd see the day.
Some pace at last. They're going to show some pace. And they're going to need to as well because they're a long way behind Kyle. I never safety car though, and they're right in the play.
Arnold pits. Kyle, by the way, is chasing Arnold's record of 8 wins. I say record, second place record. Khalifa obviously has 11. Pete Knighton with the fastest lap, 31.2. Can Kyle catch Jake is the question, with that penalty in mind.
He's close a second already, to be fair, in the last lap. Kyle, he's making inroads.
It's only 3 seconds as well.
Casper now leads this group by 10 seconds as well, so he will have some blistering pace at the end of the race as well. Might well actually be on his way into the pits at the end of this lap, because he'll have seen what Jamie and Claudia are doing. He'll want to get involved in all that soft tyre fun. So let's see if Casper, the race leader, the pole sitter, is going to pit. Yep. Yes, he is.
Everyone bar Season 2 champion J. Luke has now made all their mandatory stops. Jamie, I imagine, will stay out to pit on the softs and take a fastest lap.
Okay,
Casper
reversing.
pits.
Hopefully he gets back on by hitting anybody. But he's down to 14th now. And he's cutting the track. That'll be a 10-second penalty, man. What are you doing that for? Be careful. Luckily gets away with it. But let's see where Casper comes out. This is really important for his race.
It's going to be close with Red Matt. It's going to be close with Red Matt.
Yeah, he really needs to beat him out of the pits, but it's such a long pit lane, he's not going to get anywhere close to that. He might even have to worry about Cloudy balloons. Here comes Cloudy. He has been on these tyres for a lap, so it'll be nice and warmed up for him. And, well, hopefully it doesn't go the same way as it went with Jake when they were fighting earlier. But, yeah, he might challenge later, but they've all got to focus on what's ahead. Jamie has had a fantastic race so far, jumping Casper now, and he's trying to get himself past Red Matt. Like I say, he's had some good pace here today, Jamie. As has Red Matt, in fairness. Red Matt jumped all of them, and he's now being mugged because he's not on the soft compound tyres, and Jamie is the one who's going to potentially be making all the moves at the end of this race. Peter's gone for a spin, he's now out of the equation, and here goes Jamie, he's up to third. No penalty for him as well, remember. So crucial.
That's fantastic from Jamie as well, considering on lap 1 somebody turned his internet off as well. So up into the podium positions. It's quite the incredible drive. 13 seconds off race leader Jake on those slowing Hards, and Kyle in the middle. And runs a little bit wide. He'll recover though, as did Red Matt.
So I don't think. Oh, Cloudy's gone. Cloudy's gone. And where's that?
Safety car
out, but you can see he's had a tank zapper and lost it. He's into the wall, and that's his day done. He was having a strong day up to that point. I wonder if he just got a bit trigger happy because he'd seen that there was a chance to get Casper. Jake right now wants to disappear, unfortunately, doesn't he? Because it's the end of his day, and I say the end of his day. It'll be a 5-lap shootout at the end. It would take quite a lot to hold off Kyle, who has a penalty and badly needs to, because he now knows that Jamie is going to be on.
I was going to say, Jamie is all of a sudden, and Casper, after getting rid of his 5-second penalty for speeding.
Yeah.
They're both back in contention here.
What a tantalising end we've got up the grass here, because hard leads medium leads soft. Not something you see very often.
Owen White, do my eyes deceive me? That's Kieran Spears, Brittany's brother, up in P6. What's going on?
He's still not got a helmet on though, has he?
No.
They got black flags.
That's all that weight loss. It's that weight loss.
Well, yeah. I'm trying to think of a pun now, but I can't, unfortunately. So I'll think of one other day. But Kieran, yeah, he's turned up again. Thomas has stayed in the race, but he's a lap down.
Just pointing out something we've missed as well. J-Luke, only one stop. That's his race ruined. But like I say, he'll pit for softs at the end and go for fastest lap.
Well, I think
he doesn't need the points. He doesn't need the points. He'll pick up the playoff point. That's what's important to him now.
Listen, I think
already advanced.
Jamie's the only one who doesn't mind a bad race here today. I think he was one of the guys that spun on the last restart as well. So I mean, the fact he's still even in the race is, it's fair enough.
Yeah, so the regular points really don't matter to him. Good spot, Jess, but like I say, where he's already advanced to the next round, it really doesn't matter.
What he said is good spot, Jess, but it's completely pointless and not useful just in any way, shape or form.
Jess should know better. She's been here since day one.
Anyway, could only have one more lap of safety car. Could only have one more lap of this, so we should be getting ready to go on lap 23, I'd imagine. And would be...
and there's the comments and chat from Cloudy Balloons. Who would have thought? Hello, Yori, in the chat as well.
Well, I don't know what he's saying. What's he saying? Oh, his wheel disconnected. Oh dear.
Oh no.
Oh dear. And Vitinho, 5-second penalty for
Vitinho Jordan.
Yeah, they're running 7th and 8th, and they're having an alright run, but the penalty, that's going to possibly make their lives a little bit more difficult.
This came up in a meeting we had with the JACKOCAR board. Why, under safety car speeds, is there any need for a collision? That's what my question is. There should be no need for it.
Well, I guess it tends to happen. The guy ahead's put the brakes on, you've at the same time put the accelerator on. It's just bad timing. That tends to be what's causing it. But
and this brings in our rule as well. Anybody with a 5-second penalty now, because of a late safety car, you can't get that removed.
Yeah.
So our race order should stay what it is when they cross the line. I've noticed as well, we've got Thomas in the train. The original rule applies to cars that need to get out of the way, need to get out of the way on the first green flag lap. That's an old rule. Sometimes forget about that one.
This is, like I say, this is his problem with the spin. All the spinning, he did get lapped in the end, and so it's actually cost him, which is a real shame. And so actually, sorry, we'll get underway on lap 22, not lap 23. I don't know why I thought we'd be going on lap 23, because we should be definitely going... No, sorry, it is lap 22. It is lap 22. The game has just changed its mind. It's 20... No, it is 22, sorry. This is lap 22. Ignore the graphic, because I was wondering if I was going crazy. But no, it is lap 22. It just decided it's lap 21. I know it's lap 22 again.
Owen, if you ride on board with Thomas, it's lap 21. Everyone else is 22. Hey?
My bad. Hey? My bad. Sorry, that's actually...
That is your bad.
Sorry, Codemasters. You did
that's
a good
the new
thing.
feature, to be fair.
Yeah. Sorry, Codemasters. Actually, I will apologise this time. That's completely my fault. Good feature. Oops.
What did you say? Thank you, Jacko, for spotting that out.
Oh, yeah, and Jacko as well.
Thank you very much.
I connected the dots as soon as I went off Thomas's cover. Anyway, we're restarting the race. We're restarting the race, and Jake, well, he knows the score. Just, oh, Kieran? What have you done?
Keep them behind you for 5 laps.
Kieran,
oh no, what has Kieran
what
done?
has he done? You can't recover his
Don't
positions.
try and regain your positions. No, that's it. That's tough luck.
You drive me crazy with the amount of mistakes you make, I swear to God. He's done it
Eyes
again.
on Jake.
Yeah, well, nothing to watch, is there? He's just going to be doing the
We need to see
weaving
if
job.
he gets it right.
OKK's ignored the yellow flag for passing Kieran, which is extremely unfair, because it was Kieran's fault. I assume, unless he got tipped right, but either way, it wasn't OKK's fault. Here
Look at Kyle, he's ready to pounce. Look at Jamie as well, look at this.
I don't know which one I want to be on board
mess.
with, because Jamie's the one who's side by side with Kyle already, but does he want to brave it into turn 1? Yes, he does! He's made the move stick as well! Nearly into the back of Jake, but that was perfectly judged. And now they're 3 wide for 3rd place. Meanwhile, Jamie fancies the race lead, not quite going to get it for now. And Red Mat's on the inside of Kyle. He's now going to cut back. And is he going to get his done on the inside of the next corner down at turn 5? Look at Birdie contact, but look at now. Look at Casper dancing round the outside. Really nice driving. Meanwhile, for the race lead, we're not going to miss it this time because here comes Jamie on the soft tyres. Surely has the run. He'll be able to outbrake Jake. He'll be able to outbrake Jake. Surely. Round the outside. It's gone wrong for Jake already in this race before, but not this time. No collision, but Jamie does go through into the lead.
Fantastic from
And
the
look at
newbie as well.
Casper's going for it now. He's got to get a move on as well because I'm sure he thinks he's probably the fastest guy out there still. He's led so long in this race. If he can just get by Kyle and Jake quickly, he still has a shot at this. But he's got to make the move stick quickly, which he's doing on Kyle already. He's up into the podium positions. Kyle will surely fight this one back though, but I don't think he'll have the grip to. As dancing around the outside again, another soft runner making it work. He's done it twice in his lap already, Casper. Can he get Jake as well? Surely there'll be some sort of move happening in that final hairpin, and once he gets it completed, it'll be the 2 soft runners chasing each other for the victory. And through goes Casper. Arnold as well is in a very nice position. He does have a penalty, but he's on the softs. A few
Jordan and J-Luke Penn.
Red Matt and Arnold collide. They're colliding on the main straight, but surely right outside. Arnold's got the position done. He's up into 5th place, and he'll be all over the back of Kyle soon. And we know how quick he is. And seeing these two in front of him fighting away, Kyle and Jake, that's going to certainly whet his appetite as he tries to find a way through the middle of them. Maybe he'll just cut through at some point on the Mistral straight when these two go side by side through 6 and slow each other both down. This has just got extremely frenetic. What is the penalty for Arnold? It's only the 3 seconds, so it should be a podium minute for him if he can get by Jake and Kyle. But I fear they might think about going 3 wide, and Arnold's got nowhere to go as Jake actually sort of weaves there on the straight. I wonder if you'll have anything to say about that, especially after the penalty he got for the weaving last week. Of anyone to be weaving in front of. You know, there's one person.
Of all the people.
Yeah, don't do it to the guy that got penalised for it last week. Continues on the inside of Pete, who'd recovered from the spin he had earlier, and they're going side by side through scene now, as Arnold gets himself up into 4th place.
Underneath, and it's going to be another dose of Kyle versus Arnold towards the end of a Grand Prix. It's what we love to see. But it's Jamie leading from Casper. Jamie in only his 2nd start, Casper in his 3rd. The new boys starting to make things happen. Can Kyle hold off Arnold? They're all over the back of each other. Bad blood here from Baku last week. DRS is enabled. Arnold doesn't get it because we're 1 lap away still. Into turn 1 they go. Kyle's going to hold position here.
They'll get it on the Mistral straight, but I don't think Arnold fancies even using it. I'm sure he can probably try and get through it by turn 5. Casper is within a second, just about. It's going in and out. He's got to make sure he is, though, within that second. Let's ride on board with Casper, and we'll see if he's 1 second at the line, which is coming up now. He isn't. So he doesn't get DRS in this lap. He needs to close a little bit more. Arnold will. He will
he's on Kyle. It's going to be easy. Surely no contact this time around. Yeah. And their penalties cancel each other out. Can Kyle stay in that window? But Arnold softs right before that safety car. Could pay dividends here. All eyes back to Casper and Jamie as we look at 2 1/3 laps to go here in France. It's been a much better race this week, Owen Wyatt.
Oh, indeed. Much cleaner, much better racing. No one binning each other off as badly as last time out. These two, though, I must say, have a lot less ERS than Arnold does. Arnold is generally faster as well. It'll take quite a lot for him to get past him, though. There's the issues he's got that penalty. But if those two up ahead at any point pick up a penalty, then Arnold will be all over it. So keep your eyes on the penalties for the top two as they prepare to fight each other.
I can tell you now, Casper, 2 warnings. Jamie, 1 warning.
Casper
fastest lap as well. Jamie weaving to the right.
He's got a playoff point. He's got a fastest lap. Will he be able to get the victory as well? Can Casper make this work? First time pole sitter today, took advantage of the wet conditions, meaning he got his fast lap in first. That must be one of the first times as well we've ever seen the first lap in qualifying go pole.
Second.
I wonder that is the first, second time I've seen it happen.
Second time. Khalifa, Australia season 2, it happened before.
Yeah, so it's a rare occurrence, but when it does happen, it tends to be an alright omen as Casper closes and closes and closes and goes to the outside line and decides not to go for the move just yet. He's trying to bait Jamie into having the raw line so he can get a good exit, but he's lost the back end. Bettini was up into P5 now, but here comes Casper. He's going to go round the outside of Seeing Corner. I don't think he's quite got the run to make this one sick, but I'm sure he'll still keep his nose in there just to keep Jamie on edge. Maybe have him offline coming to the next corner so he can cut back. Let's see if he'll pull the move that Arnold and a few others have pulled so far today. No way through just yet. Very close on ERS levels still though, so it should still be a decent chance for Casper to get through once again on the DRS.
Now sniffing a win if these two collide, and I see poor old Jake, he's slid down to P6, but still no penalties as Pete and Redman Cam start to collect up to him, gather up behind him, I should say.
Here we go.
Jamie, 2 laps to go.
Final
1 lap to go. Not sponsored by Credit One Bank. Not allowed to say that legally. Casper to the outside of turn 1. Jamie holds position once again. 1 more DRS zone. Oh, it's going to be a close finish once again. Hopefully no crashes this time around.
I feel it was maybe a tad unwise for Casper to have a look on the outside of turn 1. He missed his apex completely and sort of messed up the first chicane. You want to stay as close as possible. Don't let Arnold have a sniff. Even though he has penalty, he'll certainly stick his nose in if there's a chance. Casper just needed to keep everything ready for this run here, and he will still get the run. Jamie looks like he's D-rated. He's got no ERS left. They're very equal. Oh, and they nearly collide on the straight. But Casper has made his way through. Can he keep it online? Because Jamie's going to have a really nice run on the exit. This is where Casper struggled on the last lap. And he's using all the ERS he's got. And Arnold, he's saved a little bit extra. He's right on this too. And he's closing quicker than Jamie is. So he might well get involved. As Jamie tries on the outside of Seeing Corner, he cuts back to the inside line. Casper doesn't leave any room for him.
That's right.
And they hit each other. And through goes Arnold into second place. And now, of course, the penalty will cancel out, but that should mean that Jamie can't win this race now, unless Arnold does anything with Casper. Like I say, Arnold, he'll want to win it on track if he can, and I'm sure he'll give it a good go as he heads in to the final hairpin. Can he find a way through? Yes, he's hit him! Big contact! Where's Jamie going to be? Jamie, I don't think he'll have the run, and thanks to the penalty, Casper will still win the French Grand Prix. But it's yet another collision for Arnold on the final lap of a race. It's things like this that could cost you in the JACKOCAR Championship.
Oh, unbelievable. And I see Jamie picked up, I don't know if it's 5 or 3 second penalty, but he's dropped down to 6th. Jake finds himself just off the podium in the end, keeping it no penalties, and Kyle is P3. Oh, I'm not entirely sure what happened. We're going to have to watch it back, Owen. But that was quite exciting at the end. 16 drivers finished the race. 16 drivers will score points.
Of course, the reserve winning the race, though. So,
yeah.
I don't think we get anyone advancing to the playoffs today. But still, a fantastic driver. First time pole sitter. He got a playoff point. I believe he also got the fastest lap. And in the end, he got the win too. So, good drive for Casper in the end. And, well, like I say, Arnold, he's got to watch that with the contact. He's done it twice now in the final lap in 2 races. We've seen him multiple times before lose championships by such small margins. And even in season 1, he failed to qualify for the Championship 5 due to mistakes. It's something he's going to think about this season because he doesn't want to let another championship slip. I know it's so early in the season that it probably doesn't mean anything, but it's just a bad omen when you keep crashing, isn't it?
Absolutely. And just news just in, I think Jamie obviously desync from his internet problems on lap 1. So I imagine he may get reinstated to P3.
Yes, because
there are no penalties on his time. Yeah,
he was certainly there, so he would have finished second place.
Yeah, P2, so Arnold third.
Yeah, so it'll be
Third again.
It'll be Casper from Jamie, then Arnold, Kyle, Jake, Cam, then Vitinho, SD Mats, Red Matt, Kieran, then Pete, MK Born, OKK, Jamie, J-Luke, and then Jordan and Thomas will be the last point scorers. The non-point scorers, the retirements are Cloudy, Camu Babu, Marion, and Khalifa. Well, a much better race than last time out, I think it's safe to say. Hope everyone enjoyed that. Where are we next, Jacko?
Well, next week we actually have a break because some of us are go-karting, and after that we return for round 3 in Bahrain.
Yes, well then, with that, I guess all I can say is that thank you for watching the stream. Hope you've all enjoyed the race. If you are going to be at karting, I look forward to seeing you there. Me and Jacko will give you a show. You'll have me, Jacko, and Andy there, so we'll need to do some sort of promotion for the Challenger 5. We're going to have to rope him in, basically. But yes, we're going to have to do something there. But yes, enjoy the week off. Those of you who aren't karting, don't sweat too much. And yeah. See you all soon. So hopefully I can end streams properly on PS5. I haven't done this very often, but yes, I should be able to figure it out. Until next time, safe travels, everybody.